welcome to Right on the Money. I'm Rich Nagel. Today I want to talk a little bit about the importance of financial planning. After having been in the business for 25, 26 years now, and asking folks, how much money they're going to need for retirement, oftentimes I get a blank stare, or I'm not really sure, I don't know how to calculate that. And I think that that's something that really needs to be determined sooner rather than later. Oftentimes I may get an answer, hey, maybe I need $2 million. And then you start to do a little bit of deep dive and ask the client a question, or the prospective client or individual a question of, how did you get to the $2 million? Well, I don't know. Somebody told me I needed $2 million. Well, what do you need in income is the next question. Well, we probably need about $150,000 a year. Well, $150,000 a year from a $2 million pot of money, that math doesn't really work out long term. So today I want to talk a little bit about the importance of financial planning, getting started, keeping it simple, in the hopes that I might be able to spur some of you to take action and to start taking a look at what you might need later on. In terms of determining what you need in retirement, I think oftentimes in all financial planning, maybe it sounds self-serving, but I think it's important to work with a professional. And the reason I say it's important to work with a professional is if you go through a process and you're working with somebody that knows the rules of the road, they can potentially identify problems now to avoid pitfalls later. And it's impossible for anybody to address a problem now that they don't even know exists. So one of the common themes is people not really understanding how much money they're going to need for retirement. But in working through a basic financial planning process, it doesn't have to be something that is really labor intensive at first. You can start small. But these types of things can help you uncover, how much risk you're taking, what kind of downdraft your current portfolio might take if we see downside. What's it going to take to educate your children, your grandchildren? What kind of a legacy do you want to leave? How much debt do you have? What's the hierarchy? What's the most important thing to to pay off first? What's that? How do we drive tax efficient income? Where should I draw money from first? And so I think the planning process, personally to me, is a better strategy than what I see many people employ, which is kind of a hope and pray strategy. Some people will say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put off retirement planning until I get closer to retirement. And I say, well, I guess that's a strategy. It kind of sounds to me like saying, I'll put off my estate planning until just about the time I'm going to die. I don't know that it makes a lot of sense. So a couple of things, a little bit of information is, I think oftentimes when you work with somebody, it can be kind of intimidating. You've got people that will, do something like this, and this is a 157-page document, and I joke around. I've seen 300-page financial plans. I've seen 400-page financial plans, and I usually joke around with the individual I'm speaking with and say, wow, did they charge you by the pound? I think sometimes our industry likes to confuse people, to use big words, to talk about things that are overly complex, maybe to justify their fees. I'm not really sure. But when I work with somebody, I like to talk to them about getting started, keeping it simple. Let's focus on the one or two most important ideas that you have. Let's try to determine what your income in retirement is going to need to look like in today's dollars and inflate that out. Maybe your other goal is educating your children or paying down debt. We can work toward those. And then as you develop a relationship and you work toward that goal, you can add in the other things. Maybe your son or daughter is getting married in a few years and you want to put together a 2028 wedding fund. Or everybody has homes that are going to need fixing up. If you're going to be in it long enough, it's going to need a roof, you're going to need appliances, you're going to need mechanicals repaired, fixed. Do you have money set aside for that? So I think it's very important to work with somebody to get started and to keep it simple. Oftentimes it's not always the easiest conversation. I know that couples have differing opinions sometimes as to what to do with the money. Trust me, I've been around the conference room with people, couples, for 25 years and heard some very good conversations. So one of the things too, working with the professionals, maybe we can just kind of have some mid-ground, wear a different hat, say, hey, you believe in this, You believe in this. Let's meet in the middle. Let's get something on paper and get it started. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of getting started today in financial planning. I hope that this video spurs you to take action. I wanted to say now might be the perfect time to sit down and to take a look at doing some of this stuff. As COVID is gripping the nation, maybe we're less mobile and we're not traveling as much. Now might be the perfect time to sit down with your spouse, your partner, or maybe if you're single. Just think about what you might need. Think about what you might need in retirement, what you want that to look like. You can engage a professional. Plans are not a transaction. They're an evolution. It's an evolving process whereby you have to tweak. If the market is doing some things better and you're getting better returns than anticipated, you can make modifications, etc. So again, it's not a transaction. It is a process, and I'm urging you to get started. So on that note, I just want to say thank you very much for the time. Please feel free to share the video. I wanted to say we cannot accept comments in the comments section due to compliance reasons, but feel free to reach out to me at rich@mainadvisor.com. You can call me. My contact information is below. I've also included a couple of links to a couple of basic questionnaires. I use some much more in-depth questionnaires, but these are a couple of basic questionnaires in the hopes to at least give you a starting point on some things to consider and kind of that data gathering process. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like, share this with somebody else, and thank you so very much for taking the time to watch the video today. Hope to see you soon.